Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my enhanced Spriggan Master of Vines build guide. Maybe the strongest Spriggan I have ever made, currently at 550 corruption. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now what you're looking at right now is 566 corruption. And this is one of the easiest builds, again, that you will ever play. Your vines is your movement skill, and you can make 12 of them. You will also be casting healing totems, that is using your Thorn Totem tree, and you can cast 9 of them. You will also have 2 Spriggans that will follow you around and shoot. So all you're doing is literally casting totems and teleporting with vines. That is the entire build. And again, over 550 corruption is what you're seeing right now. This is also the fastest Spriggan I have ever made. I've spec'd heavily into cooldown reduction, which has brought our ability to cast vines to every 3.4 seconds, where normally the cooldown is every 6 seconds. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Aaron, isn't this more of a Thorn Totem build than a Vine build? You do use Thorn Totems that complement your damage, and they are very, very strong. But the build as far as gear goes, and what makes it really sing, is vines. This is more of a vines build than a Thorn Totem build in my perspective. Because of how you teleport and how you traverse the map, if you were not using vines, it would be a completely different build. And as you can see, we're just absolutely crushing through this. You have a total of 23 minions you're going to be fighting with. And you are very, very dead? Dead. Boss time. Shade of Orbis. This is at 486. Shade of Orbis, corruption 486. And again, you're just so fast. You have haste almost the entire time you are playing, and you can teleport with vines every 3.5 seconds. You're very, very quick Spriggan. Shade of Orbis, 485, dead. Gonna show you one more boss fight. This is the triple fire guys at 560 corruption, and just show you how basically easy this is. All you do is teleport with vines, cast Thorn Totems, and run in a circle. Very, very easy. These enemies also have a high stun chance, so you'll see Entangling Roots triggering all the time. Well, at least every 20 seconds. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with our main skill, and of course that is Spriggan Form, and I'll try and show you the order in which you want to take these points. Now the first thing you want to do is zigzag right here and get Hunter's Bane. This is going to make it where instead of having melee vines, you have ranged vines that scale with spell instead of melee. And know that I tried for an extremely long time to try and make Great Vine work. My initial plan was to go melee Great Vine because it gives a total of 300% multiplicative. It honestly just feels terrible. So I went back to ranged. Next thing you want to do is take this right here and turn your healing totems into Thorn Totems so it uses that tree. And you want to take Unbound Garden. This is how you can make 9 total totems. Last, you want to come down here and make it where you can get 2 Spriggans and boost your armor. If you have any remaining points, they all jump up here and go into your chance to summon vines when a vine dies and your cast speed for your vines. Skill number 2, summon Spriggan, and you will have 2 of them. First thing you want to do is take this tree right here, which is going to boost your base crit chance for all of your minions and max out your crit avoidance. And you want to take base 15 spell. Again, that's for you and your minions. You're then going to come down here and you're going to boost the Thorn Volley on your summon Spriggans. And you want Vile because it's going to give 60% multiplicative to poison enemies. And all the enemies are going to be poisoned because of Nightshade. Any remaining points for Spriggan are going to go right here into Vitality because they're fairly squishy and we want to try and keep them alive. Moving on to Entangling Roots, and this is the skill that is 100% automated. You will never click on it because you don't have a way to click on it. And what you want to do is come down here and make it where it can't be dodged, and you want to snag this node right here, Briarthorn, which basically makes it that Entangling Roots cast when you are stunned. So you get stunned, Entangling Roots goes out around you, immobilizing enemies, shredding their armor, and giving your allies and yourself a 10 base physical and a 40 base spell. So basically gives you a little bit of time to get out of harm's way, super boosts your minions, and shreds the enemy's physical resistance. It's a nice little automated skill when you are in the thick of it. Moving on to Eterras Blessing. First thing you want to do is come over here and snag Rose Bloom. This makes it when you cast Thorn Shield from Spriggan Form, you are going to be triggering Eterras Blessing. It is the way that you can manually cast this. So once you take Rose Bloom, you want to come down here and snag Swift Recovery. Now, Swift Recovery basically allows you to bring your Spriggans back to life when they are downed without standing on them. It is so nice. So you're in a fight, you're at high corruption, your Spriggans die. All you do is cast basically Thorn Shield on your Spriggans, which automatically triggers Eterras Blessing and brings them back to life. It's very nice. The rest is going to be all up here, boosting your healing totem, your overall healing, cleanse, and more healing elements. Last but not least, summon Thorn Totem. And this is really probably your main damage dealer. I've run through with only Thorn Totem and only Vines. Thorn Totem probably does a little bit more damage, but what's great is that Vines have a longer range and they actually are your movement skill as well. But you're going to be using Thorn Totems all the time. First thing you want to do is take Forested Expanse. And this is going to make it where you have an extra 4 Thorn Totems. You're then going to come down here, boost the crit chance, boost the double projectiles, and take single projectile. Which, by the way, extra projectiles still work with single projectile. And then you want them to pierce one enemy. You're then going to come down here and get multiplicative damage and chance for double damage. You're then going to bounce over here and get spell multiplicative damage. And then your last 2 points, if you have them, you definitely want to get a little bit of armor shred. Even at 40%, this is going to gain you 20 or 30 stacks, which at that level is actually huge. It will do a lot. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the mastery. Again, I am spec'd into Druid and I am level 100. So in the base tree, we have 8 into Natural Attunement, 5 into Hunter's Restoration, 6 into Wisdom of the Wild, 1 into Hunter's Emanation, and 5 into Elder Branch. Now we are using an axe as our weapon, which is going to basically triple this node. So you're going to be getting Totem Spell at base 15. If you are not using an axe, so you just don't have a good axe, you don't have anything that's solid for minion, you do not take Elder Branch, and these 5 points pop down right here into Cornered Beast, which is going to give you some damage reduction at low health, okay? If you have an axe, Elder Branch. If you don't have an axe, Cornered Beast. Moving into Druid, we have 7 into Plating, 6 into Warden, 7 into Druid Prowess, 5 into Wind of the Leaves, 8 into Harmonious Wisdom. This is going to take care of the rest of your critical strike avoidance. 6 into Force of Nature, 6 into Overgrowth. This is going to boost your health regen. And then 10 into Hide Skin. And you definitely need Hide Skin. Now, your amulet that you are wearing makes it where you never come out of Spriggan Form because it's going to boost your rage based upon vines created. And you're always going to have 12 vines. So you don't need any of this basically reduced rage decay. So that's why you'll notice some kind of interesting picks down in here. We just took anything that actually helped us. Moving over to Beastmaster, 8 into Yersin Strength, 5 into Boarheart, 2 into Call of the Pack, 6 into Natural Fortitude. Then you put 8 into Shamanistic Infusion, which is physical penetration for your minions and attunement. And then my final 4 points all go right in here to minion cast speed. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now on here, we are taking Void Resistance, All Resistance, Health Regen, Physical Resistance, and Minion Damage. Now, just to be clear, you don't have to take Physical Resistance or Minion Damage. You could take double armor, flat armor, and armor percent. If you'd rather go more survivability, I personally actually needed the Physical Resistance from this node, but those two are interchangeable. Moving over to idols, and what I love about Primalist is there are so many good idols for this build, but I went a little different for this one. So 2 idols that you need. Chance to gain haste for 3 seconds when you summon a totem. and we are using 2 of those. That is why during the gameplay, you see me running so quick. It's because I'm able to maintain haste the entire time because I'm casting so many Thorn Totems. That mixed with being able to teleport every 3 seconds with my ring casting vines makes this the fastest Spriggan I have ever used. We are also using health regen and increased minion critical strike chance. Health regen and increased minion critical strike chance. And then on the outside, I needed a little bit of resistance and life. And on here, I took minion spell and increased health. So those are the idols. Now, moving over to the gear. Technically speaking, there is 2 items that are basically required for the build, and they are both so cheap. If you're in Merchant's Guild, they are free, and if you are COF, you've probably found 1,000 of them. One is Tears of the Forest. This is basically going to keep you in Spriggan form all the time because you're going to gain rage based upon your vines. It's also going to give you armor, it's going to give you movement speed, and it's going to give you level 2 Spriggan and Spriggan Form, which are 2 skills you use. The other item we are using is a Frond, which is when you directly cast Summon Vines, you are teleported to the target location. This is basically gives Spriggan a movement skill, and I have stacked so much cooldown reduction that I could basically cast Vines every 3 seconds. So you are a very, very quick Spriggan. Again, very easy to find. The other items we are using is the Eterras Path. This is going to make it that while you are moving, you are also creating vines around you. And we are using a dedication of the Erased because this is going to give us 1-2 all skills. It's going to give us less damage taken over time from slowed enemies. And basically what's going to happen is your minions are going to get aspect of the spider and make all enemies slowed. We are also using Phantom Grip. And the reason why I took Phantom Grip because it basically gives us 2 to skills and boosts our critical strike chance. Obviously we aren't using forged weapons, but the +2 to skills and the minion crit, it's hard to not take Phantom Grip, especially because it's also so easy to find. Now the rest of the items are Helmet, Minion Crit Multiplier, Minion Spell Crit, Armor, Minion Spell Crit, Minion Crit Multiplier. And you'll notice that I took the cooldown recovery base, Belt, increased cooldown recovery speed, Boots, increased cooldown recovery speed, Gloves, increase cooldown recovery speed, and we took health and minion and attunement. And then our axe. This is the axe you want. Increase minion physical damage up to 100%. You can get an added survivability mechanic with parry, and then double minion spell. You could also get minion physical penetration. I tested both, and I felt like minion spell did better because you already get a little bit of penetration inside of the tree. So that is the gear. Now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I go from level 1 to endgame? I will show you. Now, not everybody agrees with this, but for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a Beastmaster, Shaman, or a Druid. I level the exact same way using basically 1 skill, and that is Swipe. It is so good. You can get through the entire campaign with this singular skill. And what you want is you want to take these 3 nodes. This is going to give you Leech, Area, and Kill Threshold. You then can come down and take Feline Hunter, which is going to boost your overall attack speed. The next skill you want to take is War Cry. War Cry, you can get Berserker very early in the tree, which is going to further boost your swipe. And you can come over here and grab Whirlpool so that you are automating your Maelstrom. You don't have to manually cast Maelstrom. So all you're doing is making War Cry, and you are hitting swipe. Now, Maelstrom, you want to come right here and turn it into Cyclone, so it's a physical skill. That way it scales with your swipe. And then you want to come up here and get Haste and Frenzy. So that way you're hitting quicker, you're running quicker, and you're hurting enemies with Cyclone. The final skill you want to take is Fury Leap, but this is going to be unspec'd, which means you're not actually going to put it on your top bar. It is just going to go down here on your skill bar so that you can still jump around and traverse the campaign quickly. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and enhanced Druid Master of Vines? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I could do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Couple of asks at the end. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out the Discord. We're approaching 4,200 members. We are the unofficial voice chat for Last Epoch. It's where I run all my community events. One is currently coming up for Dwarven Realms season launch. We also do a game giveaway every 2 weeks just for being a member and hanging out. So check out the Discord. Lastly, the best way to support into the future is Patreon. Thank you to all the Patreons out there, all 140 of you. We have game night coming up this week. We're going to be playing V Rising as a community on my server. It's just a great way to support into the future. First link in the description. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.